Hello. So this poem is called Black Lives, White Lies, and Dreams Untold. Some say today the entire social contract stands frustrated. The law's bloodlust is not by blood lustrated. Justice rolls on like a river down which are sold black lives, white lies, and dreams untold. Others are compelled to pluck cotton by force measure under solipsistic skies to stop up their year and block out a more barbarously grim Republic's battle hymn. The envoy is Midon's peace hath the prince, Pain a president, white is the house, niggers but tenant. I'd like to say a word or two to explain some of the difficult words in this poem. Firstly, in the first line, the first line is the entire social contract. So this refers to an 18th century theory, and this is a fundamental theory to do with the American Constitution. It's a notion that there is a social contract, that people, that they make an agreement. It's a free, voluntary agreement. It's a contract, and that is the source of the law. But you see, a contract becomes, it's a frustrated purpose contract, where something neither party envisaged that occurs. For example, at the moment, because of the COVID virus, it's something that many people who entered into contracts, neither party, had envisaged such a situation. And it's a moot point. I don't know what's happening in America. But, some of those contracts, the court may say, well, this contract is discharged because its purpose was frustrated. So some say today the entire social contract stands frustrated. In other words, up till now it was okay, but from now on there is no contract. We are in a new situation. And the second line is the law's bloodlust. So basically, if the law is bloodthirsty, now normally, the word lustration is not by blood lustrated. Lustrated, it's a very old word. It's the notion that wherever blood is shed, there is a pollution, something unholy in God's eyes. And there must be a proper laving and a proper lustration, a proper washing away, and a proper expiation of that sin. But you see, when the law itself is guilty of bloodlust, when you say, well, the law, in order to continue to operate, it is doing so out of a bloodlust. In other words, this is not some accident, it's not some catastrophe, some tragic event. It's the operation of the sausage making machine. So bloodlust is not by blood lustrated, that the blood which has been shed cannot wash away the crime. And I think in the past, there was this notion that, this blood has been shed and now something new, it's the scapegoat, it is the korban, it is the pharmakos, it is the innocent victim whose blood has been shed, and then, it's like Christ's blood. Christ gives his blood so that you can remake society. But now we're talking about a situation where the entire social contract stands frustrated, where we're saying this is it's not what any of us envisaged. That's the power of the Black Lives Matter campaign under COVID, under the circumstance under this lockdown where many contracts are in fact frustrated, including the social contract, perhaps. Now, in Amos, in the book of Amos, there is a line, justice rolls on like a river. But justice rolls on like a river down which are sold. You see, to be sold down river meant to be transferred from a plantation where, as a slave, where life was bearable. But to be sold down river meant life would be unbearable. It was like going to hell. So black lives, white lives. The thing with black lives is that if they are sold down the river, then, there's something worse. And is there something worse than the prison industrial complex, as Angela Davis puts it? I think, yes, there is something worse. And, there are white lies we tell each other and we tell our kids, and you see, white lies and dreams, normally, these are good things to have. But if your white lies and dreams have been sold down the river, then the social contract has been frustrated. It's not business as usual. We're in an unprecedented situation. Now, the second verse is different. It says, others are compelled to pluck cotton by force majeure, under the lockdown, under solipsistic skies, in other words, we're each on our own planet because we're in lockdown. But we're plucking cotton to stop up the year, to block out a more barbarously grim republic's battle hymn. And, you see, we know that peace hath the prince. It is not Jesus Christ. Pain a president. You see, of course, we understand that life on earth, there is going to be pain, and you elect somebody, and, that's, it is something ameliorative. It is subject to metanoia. It is something where we think and we think again, and we choose again, and it's an ameliorative process. It's a metanoic process. But of course, the very startling thing is that, we had the White House, and Obama was in the White House for 8 years. And, the George Floyd, this terrible thing which we saw, it just went on and on. 1 minute passes, 2 minutes passes, 3 minutes. This is execution in public under color of law. And so this is an unprecedented situation, and that's why I have written this poem in this way. I'd be very happy to hear any comments that you have. Thank you very much.